To serve great food is to create memories for your customers.
But it takes more than luck.
It takes consistency, creativity, and the drive to see things through.
And every day, the stakes are high, which means it's time to stand up
from your computer and start getting real. To own your kitchen is to own your bottom line.
This is the real world. And now...
This is the real world. And now...
This is the real world.
And now is the time to foodify your business.
All right, welcome to F Your Business Podcast. So we're on our way over to Altamonte's to do our shopping for our next challenge. We're going to do meatloaf, but I'm not going to do any meatloaf, right? I don't mind the plain meatloaf and all, but I'm going to do mine with a little twist. I love meatloaf. I think everybody loves meatloaf, right? It's great the night of. It's great for leftovers. So, we're going to knock this challenge out of the park. We already picked up the one from the restaurant supply store. Doesn't look that great to me.
I don't think it's going to be very good. I don't know if we're going to want to try that one, but we will. Maybe.
Well, we have to, I guess.
Right.
We have to. So we're over here. We're pulling in the Altamonte's parking lot. We're going to find a nice spot to park in. We're going to go in. We got our shopping list. We're going to do our shopping. We'll see you inside. All right, here we go. The fresh ground chuck right here. This is what we want. Need 2 pounds. This is fresh ground, so we can just grab this. We don't need them to grind this up fresh. That looks great. That 2 pounds looks good. I am getting hungry already. Here goes Scott. Need some eggs here. I think I like these guys.
Extra large?
Yeah, well, I don't do anything small. But I always like to check and make sure that they're not broke. Looks good. Date's good. Yep, date's good. All right, got our eggs. Moving on to some fresh eggs.
Picture is an organic egg kind of guy.
Got me a little parsley. Scott, right here.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice bunch that's standing up, looking fresh like that. That's beautiful. Take that.
It's got beauty red pepper.
All right, take that. That's all we need from here. Actually, you know what? I do need. I'm taking one of these because when we make the meatloaf, I want a little hot pepper with it when I eat it. There we go. All right, so I got basil. There's basil. It's nice.
That's a nice looking basil.
That's standing up nice. Looks good.
That time of year, I guess.
Yeah, we're getting to that time of year. Oh, yeah. That looks good. Smell that. Nice. All right. Get some garlic. I think we still got to get breadcrumbs, and we still got to get the Reggiano Parmesan.
All right. Nice looking meatloaf, though.
All right, so we got the breadcrumbs, nice fresh breadcrumbs. That's what you want to use. You don't want to use that stuff that's prepackaged. That's the day-old bread, 2-day-old bread. All right, so that's what we're on. All right, Pecorino Romano right here. That's what we want. That's going to go great for us. All right. So I think we got everything we need for the meatloaf now.
It's going to be a nice looking meatloaf today.
There you go. All right, we're going to go check out. We'll see you in the kitchen.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to F Your Business Podcast. We're in the kitchen. I don't know. I just got done prepping all my ingredients for meatloaf. I don't know where Chris is. I think he's taking the day off. What are we doing? You starting without me? I just got done doing all the prepping.
got done prepping.
Yeah.
I go back to cleaning a knife, and you're taking the credit for my work.
I figured this is my one chance that you already maybe pre-prepped that I could steal the thunder. And
I think they would know better. If they've been watching, they would know better.
They would realize.
Well, welcome to the kitchen. We're back. Like I said, we're doing meatloaf. This is not your traditional meatloaf. Going Italian. Okay.
No shock there that we're
No
going
shock
Italian
there.
with Chef Chris over here.
I could definitely go all the way. I could do a Mexican one, whatever. There's so many different ones we could do. The variety, unbelievable. And again, this could also go down as as a heart healthy if you go with ground turkey or ground chicken.
Yeah.
Right. So if you wanted to add that to your menu, a little heart healthy item, or you could go with what we have here, ground beef. You could go with ground beef and pork, ground beef, pork and veal, whatever you like. I just like it with the beef. So we're going to do beef. We have everything here. In this we have sauteed red bell pepper, onion, and garlic. Obviously, we have our cheese. We have a quick marinara that I made. That recipe will be on our website as well for you. Garlic, salt, basil, parsley, lightly beaten eggs, bread crumbs, Worcestershire.
Yeah,
Worcestershire,
right?
yeah. Salt, pepper. That's it. Pizza and some parchment paper.
Nice.
Oven's on, ready to go. We're going to get it all mixed together, and we'll get it on here, and we'll get it in the oven.
I think it's the advantage of doing all fresh ingredients, that not trying to overcomplicate things, but you could easily add different meatloaves to your menu with all the same ingredients,
Right.
and then just one different meat base.
Right. You can
If you
change the
want,
meat.
you could have a turkey meatloaf.
Right.
You could have a beef meatloaf.
You can have whatever.
Not that you might have 10 times, but you know, if you had
Right.
maybe you had 2 that you
if
weren't
you had
pushing
2,
someone away.
If you wanted to do a heart healthy, say go over to ground chicken or turkey, but then also have this.
Right.
You know, and then later on we'll get into what else you could do with it, where else it fits in your menu.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
So I season the layers. This is already salt and peppered, so I want to make sure I get the meat here. The breadcrumbs are salt and pepper, so I want to make sure we get the meat with some salt and pepper in there. You don't want to cheat it, you know. It wants to be just as good as every other thing going in. It don't want to be less red. That looks good. It's nice salt and pepper in there. Very basic, right?
Yeah, and I think on some of this, you know, it's like what, 2 pounds of meat, so
Right, it's 2 pounds of meat there. But again, you could adjust this
Right.
to be whatever you want. Like, if you want to, I like making them in 2-pound batches because of the way they cook.
okay.
Right? It's the way they cook. I also put the Worcestershire into the egg.
Oh, there you go. A little crisp trick for you.
Right, I also do that. So we got our first Italian parsley going in. Our basil. Get that all in. That's going to give it a great taste. Get it all mixed around. A little bit of garlic salt. You know, red pepper flakes for this is optional. I don't like to do the red pepper flakes in it. I don't think it should be spicy. If you want it to be spicy, I'll teach you a trick. Pick up some of these, roast them alongside it. As you eat the meatloaf, eat the pepper.
All right.
All right? That's what we're going to do.
I was going to say, can we try that when we have
That's
our
what- yeah.
meatloaf later?
That's what we're going to do. These are our bell peppers, onions, and garlic, already sauteed and cooled.
Nice. You can do different vegetables too on this, right? 'Cause I mean, I
Anything.
assume you probably made meatloaf with carrots or different celery before.
This is one Italian one I had.
Okay.
The other Italian one I had, we would take the peppers out and put celery and carrots.
Okay.
So I got one too, but I just went with this one today. This is the quick marinara again. It's on our website. You get it from there. Don't want to jip it up. The marinara is so good. This one keeps it nice and moist. And then here you go. The egg and the Worcestershire. Get that in there.
All right.
Then we're just going to mix it up. Just like the meatballs, right? Not something we
it
want to
look a little
over mix.
familiar, right?
Right.
A little familiar when you start having the breadcrumbs to the meat.
Want to
and-
fold it. Just fold it from the ends in, that's outside in. You don't want to mix it like a mixer.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen the marinara in the meatloaf before in a recipe. I'm kind of excited to get that a little bit
Yeah,
different.
it's really
than
good.
Than just like a ketchup or just
Right.
like a tomato sauce, right? Like a little bit.
Well, we're going to make a topping for this as well.
Okay.
Okay. But the topping don't go on right away. We'll let it cook for 30 minutes, and then we're going to put the topping on. But we're going to make that when we're done this. And that's really good. And there's a few different ways you can make that one.
Yeah.
This is one way I like it that I'm going to do it. This is starting to come together. Again, it's not mixed, it's just folding, so you're not overworking it. You can start to see it's
Yeah, but that's right. When you
incorporated all
see,
the
you
way-
can still see all the colors of,
Right.
you know, the cilantro and the parsley. I mean, that's the nice part is it's not going to just be that faded sort of color
Exactly.
that you see sometimes when you order meatloaf.
And you see how it's not over moist or anything like that. It's holding together nice. That's going to
Right.
form on here nice.
Okay.
You don't want a sloppy one.
Right.
That's why it's important to follow the recipe. And if you want to make bigger loaves, which I don't recommend you do, make two 2-pound ones.
Okay.
Side by side on here if you want, you know?
And you're going in right on the parchment. We're not going to go in a mold or
No.
anything like that.
We're going
Okay.
to mold it on that.
Which you can only do if you don't over
Right.
fold it. It's mushy and it's not
Exactly.
whole ground then.
Too much egg or
Got
anything with the moisture. But I'm just going to take this out of here, and we're going to use the parchment paper to mold it. Look, see, it's got pretty much on the top.
Yeah. Wow, that's awesome.
So again, you started with 2 pounds. With everything you added into it,
Right. It's a little
go over.
larger now.
You know, just like the meatballs. It goes over. So then you just use this, kind of work it. I'm gonna mold it. You know, I like to get it flattened down. I don't want it real high because it's not going to cook right. You want to make sure it cooks right. So you just mold it in like this. Same thing here. And just start trying to get a little bit flat.
Yeah, that's great.
Work it down. Try to keep it the same height all the way through. Really. Yeah. And this should cook in about an hour. Check that 30
That was
minutes,
pretty. I
check
mean,
that
I know
45.
it's easy for me to stay standing next to you, but it looked pretty easy. I mean,
Oh, you
I
saw-
know you did a little prep before.
Yeah, but you saw how long that prep took me.
Right,
The prep
not
didn't take
overly
me
long.
No.
And like we always talk about, that we're making 1 loaf, but
Right.
to make 4 loaves wouldn't take that much longer. You're already cutting the ingredients. You're already
It's already
doing
being
this.
cut, and you should have them on your line. Anyway.
Right, most of these ingredients,
Right.
The restaurant probably has in
it.
some capacity. Maybe we're
Exactly.
adding some sort of breadcrumb if you don't have something like that. Maybe you're adding, I don't know, one of the other ingredients, but most of that's pretty standard that
Yeah.
you're carrying.
You have all this on the line. You just get it cut up. You know, if you come for 1 or 4, it's basically the same time.
Right.
It doesn't take any
And
longer.
another prep intensive recipe. We talk about it a lot, but we're adding this to once it gets to the line, it's an easy, quick out.
Well, yeah, because so once it's done, you're going to take a pan, right? Because you're not going to keep
Right.
it hot. Take a pan, a little marinara, you lay it in there,
Yeah.
you cook it, it goes to the plate. You know, we'll talk about that after.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is ready to go in. So we're going at 30 minutes. We're going to take it out and we're going to glaze it. We're going to make the glaze next. Thanks for watching F Your Business Podcast. We want to talk to you for a minute about our on-site visits that we do.
Nah, it's a great way for us to assess your business and really dig in to help you with some great improvements. Whether it's food costs, whether it's labor, or anything else that you might see you think you need. But we see the most success when we're able to get in on site, get a feel for the culture of the restaurant, see what's going on there, and really help our expertise to do what you've already built and growing your business to be.
Right. We definitely get walk through your menu. We come up with some new recipes. We bring it to what's happening in the restaurant world today. Make sure we're well rounded and we're covering all the bases. That's something we enjoy to do. We love coming out to the restaurants and we love being part of your restaurant.
Nice. Well, we look forward to seeing you in your restaurant.
All right, so we're gonna make the glaze now. Okay.
Awesome.
So in here we got the quick marinara I made. All right, balsamic vinegar. Okay. All right, we're gonna add that to it. That cooks down and gets thick as well, so it's gonna thicken this up. Brown sugar, light brown sugar I use. I don't use the dark. I use the light. And then we have a tablespoon of tomato paste. That's it. So we're gonna mix this
Pretty
up.
simple little sauce.
Doesn't get any easier. It's gonna be a nice glaze on top. Now we're going to let it cook down a little bit now.
Okay.
So that's going to be in the oven for 30 minutes. You want this to cook for maybe 7-8 minutes, maybe a little bit longer.
Okay.
But you bring it to a nice boil, then let it simmer. That's what we're going to do with it now. Put it over here. Come take a look. Get it on here. I'm just going to get it on. Just keep it right there. Once that starts bubbling, I'm going to turn it down a little more and stir it frequently because this is going to thicken up. So you make sure you're stirring it so it don't burn.
Now, is this a glaze that you can put on other items that you would recommend, or?
Yeah, this glaze will go great on chicken. This will go great on any kind of pork.
Okay.
I've eaten it on whitefish. Tried it on salmon once. Didn't really
Okay,
work,
it's like a
you know.
cod or
yeah, nice white flounder.
Nice.
Something along that. I did try it on salmon. It wasn't. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But somebody might. But I had it on cod. I had it on flounder.
Okay.
I had it on.
Okay.
So it really came good on that. But so now we let that come to a bubble. We'll stir it, keep it going, lower it, just let it simmer, just so it thickens up. So when you put it on the meatloaf, it sticks. It doesn't run off.
Got it. All right.
All right. So what do you got, Scott? We got a history on this
We
because I
do.
kind of think I know where it originated. If I had to guess, because I've learned something before.
All right.
I don't know if you realize that, but I did learn something before. So I'm gonna tell you where it came from.
All right,
And you
let's
tell
see.
me if I'm right.
Yeah, and maybe it's one of those items that maybe we don't know exactly. So let's see what you got.
I'll see what you came up with.
All right,
I'm
all right.
gonna say it came from Germany.
Where do you? Why? What was that? Did you do a little research? Like,
No, it just sticks in my mind. I
At
learned
some
it
point.
somewhere.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I learned it somewhere, and it just stuck with me.
Got it. All right. Well, looking into it.
Am I right?
No, but when I'm looking into it,
Thanks.
there was that came up as an area, but there is dating back to like some of these items that there's not like exact time
Right.
of when the meatloaf came out, but they were talking about like super medieval Europe, 5th century
Really?
of basically throwing scraps of meat and scraps of vegetables together. So it makes sense, right? You have all these scraps, you're trying
Right.
to use it, whether it's meat, they even said like fruit, vegetables,
Okay.
season to all these scraps all together and came up meatloaf. As you got closer, like Americanized, right?
Right.
We don't really see.
Well, I like
fruit.
our version better.
We don't really see
Yeah.
much fruit in a
I don't
meatloaf
want
or
fruit in my meatloaf.
different scraps. So those like late 1800s. Same thing. Like one of the first recipes was like basically throw any cold meat you have and mix it in.
Okay.
So it was kind of one of the things where actually beef was one of the first one they were using. This recipe had it basically from like in Massachusetts.
Right.
That before the winter they would kill their cattle, right?
Right.
So they were using this meat to get as much out of it.
So we're starting to get a bubble. That's pretty much what we want it to be right there. You know, see, we're getting it. It's going. So now we just want to get it turned down. I'm gonna get it turned down. As
And
low.
now another handful of minutes on there once it's
Yeah, well, you're going to know because you're going to when you stir it, it's going to get thicker,
okay.
right? It's going to stick to the back of the spoon, which
Got it.
it's running right now. So you got to give it a little bit of time. But it's not going to take long.
Okay.
So come to that bubble, it's going to boil down. All right, back to
Yeah,
this
so
meatloaf.
they were using, all these using the meat, trying to get as much usage out of it
Right.
as keeping it for the winter. Some obviously you're going to cook into steaks and all other things,
Right.
and then again using the parts, all the other
Nothing goes to
pieces,
waste.
Enough to go waste.
No-
Other
nothing
pieces
goes
of
to
cow,
waste.
let's use
Right.
it. The biggest thing that it actually was a breakfast food, not a dinner food to start.
Breakfast
That
food.
was the thing that probably shocked me the most.
And this is where?
This was late 1800s,
And what country?
America.
America.
Here.
We
It
didn't
was
have
actually-
breakfast.
Meatloaf was a breakfast item.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's
Yeah.
where it kind of threw me for
No,
a loop too.
yeah,
That I guess you think back though, like to like the farming sort of, or a lot of things we talk
Yes.
about very heavy early day because
Yeah.
of going into whether it was sort of
Well,
hard
we
labor.
your only meal until dinner.
Right.
So,
So
yeah,
I
you're
think
getting
you
through a
think like
10-hour
that,
day.
you were having a nice hearty
Right.
meal. Where I guess in late 1800s there wasn't a Starbucks or Dunkin' to go grab a
quick
bagel and
bite.
coffee on
Right.
your way to work.
Can't
Right.
grab a quick bite. Yeah.
So-
So that makes sense. All right, so we're gonna let this continue on. We're gonna let it reduce and thicken up. And at the 30-minute mark, we're gonna pull this out. You wanna take a look in it? See what we got so far?
See how we're looking.
It's only in there about 7
See, you
minutes.
snuck some peppers around it, Chris.
I had to
wasn't
get the
looking.
peppers in. That's lunch. I gotta get the peppers in. But it looks great in there. It's only in there about 6-7 minutes. So once this thickens, that hits the 30-minute mark, we'll just start glazing the top of it.
Alright.
And then we'll be pretty much halfway there. Takes 45 minutes to an hour, but it might spend more towards the hour, not 45.
Okay. Yours was pretty good size. It was good, we wanna-
and you see, I try to thin it not
Right.
too high. It's more wide than it is high.
Yeah.
And that lays better on the platter too.
Right.
So all right, all to do now is wait for this. All right, so we're at the 30-minute mark, Scott. Looks great, right?
It looks great. I still see a ton of color. It's starting to
Looks
brown
awesome.
super nicely.
Got our peppers.
Ooh.
All right, peppers smell good. I'll tell you
They
that.
smell good. I can't wait
Yeah.
to taste the flavor on those.
I'm gonna get the peppers out because they're done. This is gonna be for a little snack later.
All right, well, we're going to try it. So,
Look
we're
at
going
the
to try it in
peppers.
style.
Ah. So the glaze, it thickened up nice. Now we're just going to take it and lay it on top. If you have a brush, use a brush. You have a spoon, use a spoon. You have a spatula like me, use a spatula.
right? Whatever we got.
That's it. There's no rules here. Use whatever you got.
There's no rules in Chris's kitchen.
Nope.
That's that.
I'm a rule breaker when it comes to the kitchen. I'd like to put it on thick because this is going to thicken up really nice. It's going to stick and have such great flavor. That balsamic that's in there is really does.
I can
flavor
still
nice.
smell the balsamic. Like it's definitely,
Yeah.
very.
It runs down the side a little bit. That's good. A little more flavor down there. Let it run. There you go. We're good there. So it's going to go back in the oven. We'll check it in 20 minutes. So it's at the 50-minute mark.
Okay.
Right? I think it might be done by then.
Well, looks like it's cooking, like you said, you kind of kept it sort of low.
Right.
It's not as thick, so maybe it's going to be close to that 50 over an hour, but we'll see.
Well, we'll see. You know, but it looks good. It's getting there.
I'll open it on for you so you can bring it on right in.
The foundation of our team is a shared objective. As specialists in the hospitality industry, we understand the importance of timely and accurate reporting for our clients, which has been made even more crucial throughout the post-pandemic industry recovery.
We truly believe our mission is to give back to business owners control of their finances so that they can make better decisions daily.
The way that we are consistently showing value to our clients is by speaking with them on a weekly basis. Not only do they have the relationship with their lead accountant, but they have the opportunity to meet with industry experts.
The truth is that things will never be like they were before 2020. But we believe that our weekly accountability model will help you adapt to the new reality and grow and evolve into an even better business in the years to come.
All right, here we are.
It took us a little time. We waited and we waited, and I was getting hungrier and hungrier.
It's worth the wait. Look at
and it looks worth the wait.
Look at that glaze. Look how it cooked perfectly on it, sticking to it. That's sticky too, because that balsamic makes it sticky.
It was only like 50 total minutes. It felt like 6 hours because I was just staring at it when it came out earlier. And it looked so good. I wanted to eat it.
Well, so the key thing, let it sit 15 minutes.
Right.
At least. Right? Because it's kind of hard to slice it down.
Yeah.
Right?
So we cooked it, let's recap, right? So we cooked it for 30.
Right.
Glazed it.
Right.
We cooked it for 20 more. Let it sit for 15.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Right. So what you want to get this internal temperature to 160.
Okay.
158, 157, because it's going to continue to cook to 165. Right. While it sits for that 15 minutes. Right? You don't want to pull it out 165 and let it go to like 170, 171, 172. It's going to dry it out a little bit. Yeah. But this will be perfect timing. Everything works right. It's going to be moist. It's going to be delicious. So let me show you how we're going to plate this. I take a little marinara on the bottom. A little marinara on the bottom. You see, we got our Italian long hops on there for me and Scott.
All right, all right.
All right. This plate here is for the guy that don't like spicy food. Vince, the cameraman. So right here, you know, we're just going to get a nice slice on this. And we're going to bring it over here. Turn it up like this. Just look inside of that. Look inside of that. Now, if I was doing a portion for a restaurant, there'd be 2 slices.
Right. You could do, depending, it could be a lunch portion of 1 or 2. A dinner portion could be 2 or 3. Obviously, depending on how thick you're cutting.
Let's do a cut into whatever they got over here.
Oh, yeah. While Chris was letting ours cool down, I was cooking up in the microwave.
Let's see what they got over here.
7.5 minutes later, plus a 1 minute cool time. It gets you this.
I don't see much happening in there compared to that. So let me get another one here. Because the end cut, I would probably, use as a lunch portion.
And I really like that you're using like the marinara on it.
Well,
I'm not a ketchup person, so I don't
Right.
like the ketchup on the meatloaf.
Ketchup's the
People like
easy
it.
way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
People do it. I mean, right?
It's traditional. It's what they do.
Yeah.
I'm not, And you don't want to cut big, thick slices.
Right.
Don't worry about here. I mean, that's it. That's a nice slice.
Yeah, what about what? Inch and a half, probably.
about 1.5
Looks
inches.
maybe, maybe
Right.
2.
And then we would lay that there. If we were going to do 2 slices, you lay another one right there.
Yeah.
But no, we're just going to do one.
And we're
because
just
it's
trying
us
to,
eating.
right. You
Right.
obviously can do whatever you want with it.
Right. And then I'm going to tell you, other things you guys can do with it. Lunch item. It's big as a sandwich. People love it as a sandwich. For me, it's a little weird. I don't know why I never ate meatloaf as a sandwich. So when people start talking about it, I'm like, I don't know. I think it's dinner. I don't know.
Well, I've worked with companies that did a different style. I mean, I know at one point we were doing a super large pile high sandwich, right? So open face, piece of meatloaf on top, mashed potatoes on top of that, onion rings on top of that.
Right.
It was just like huge thing. But then I also sold cold meatloaf sandwiches. We've done
That's what you're
that.
telling me.
Yeah, no, you didn't believe me.
I'm not, for me, I don't know.
You know what's good?
It's just weird to me, but I know
is.
people eat it a lot. So just because I've never had doesn't mean it's wrong, right? So
That was
I
actually
definitely
super cold. It was actually some nice toasted brioche bread, but the actual meatloaf was chilled on it. And then there was some barbecue sauce, some other items on top of it. But again, it was another area to use it. It gives another menu item that you're making it for. So now you have meatloaf. You can have it as a lunch portion, a dinner portion, a sandwich, a cold sandwich. So many.
As I like to finish it, just with a little swipe across the top of the marinara. Now, like I said, this could be heart healthy, go chicken turkey, right? There's another one I like to do. Okay, so what I would have done was instead of molding this, I would have flattened it on parchment. Okay, and I would have laid sausage in there.
Oh.
Right? So I would have flattened it, I would have laid ropes of sausage in there. You go with, I usually use hot sausage.
Okay.
That's what I like. But I recently did it with chorizo as well, and it was really good. You could use the sweet sausage, whatever you want. And then you kind of use the parchment paper and you mold it all back. Now that's going to be a little thicker, so that takes about an hour and a half to cook.
Okay.
Right?
Time.
But when you slice it, you have rolls of sausage in there. I mean, it's amazing. That's another way to go.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that your heart healthy version. Then,
That's
right?
definitely not heart healthy. Well, you know what you could do? You could get turkey sausage, chicken sausage.
Yeah, exactly.
You could. They got everything today.
Turkey ground meat, turkey sausage.
Yeah, they got everything today. Yeah.
An interesting take on a meatloaf result, right?
Yep. So, I guess we're going to have to try that.
We're going to try it. I mean, we know the cost. I mean, obviously, a lot of different ingredients go into the meatloaf, but a pretty cost favorable item. You get into these. I mean, you could be paying $2 a piece for these little pre-made. So,
and look how small it is.
And look how small it is. So let's at least try it out. Kind of worried.
You could tell.
Yeah.
How overworked the meat is.
Yeah, I mean,
the texture's bad.
It's just a bland.
There's no flavor.
Meat patty. I mean,
you taste that brown gravy a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? But as far as it tastes inside the meatloaf, there's absolutely
it tastes what you think would come out of the microwave.
Yeah.
No better, no worse.
No better,
it's
no worse.
Exactly what I did when you saw it. All right, so now we can, save room for this.
Vince, when you're done working the camera, buddy, it's all yours.
We didn't even bring this to the group for a taste test because it really wasn't going to be much of a competition.
We didn't want to waste their time.
I really like the marinara sauce. It almost gives me that meatball marinara, but then you get so much different flavoring from the meatloaf than a meatball going. All right. I'll try one of the peppers that you made with it.
Woo!
Uh-oh. Should I make sure my water's all over there? I don't know.
Ooh, let's try. But great flavor. Everything in here, you taste. You taste everything in here.
That's a little hotter than you told me it was going to be.
I don't know till you cook it. It's really hot.
It's really good, though. I mean, I can taste all the ingredients. They're all super evident.
Right.
The meat's delicious. It's not overworked. It's not overcooked.
No. You can see in there the air pockets.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want to see. I tell you, look, there's no air pocket. It's mold. It's just right. It's so, and they add water to that as well to add weight and all this, just like they do with frozen meatballs and everything else. But you look, and I like the texture of everything the size that it is. Yeah. You can,
it's hot. It's hot, right? It's hot.
You could throw it all in the food processor if you want, but I don't think the vegetables will be as good.
Right.
I think you need that little bit of a rustic cut on them. And they're not big, but you want to see them.
No, I think it's awesome. I think it's just, it's so versatile for the menu.
Why would you buy that when you can make this? It was so easy.
Right.
So now what you would do, right? This is made, once it cools, you slice it into portions. Okay? Like I say, this is a 2-pound one.
Sure.
Right? But you got, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13 portions.
Okay.
13 pieces. So you would have a pan, put a little marinara in a pan. You sit these in it, 2 to a portion. If that's what you're doing, one time you're doing 1. sit them in a pan, and you heat it right there. You heat it right, and it goes out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy. It's easy. It's simple.
Again, I know we keep going back to that, but that's the goal of being a line, right? We want the line recipes to be so easy that we don't need a chef to be able to prepare each line item.
Right.
We want them to maybe help create the menu with the owner, if there is a chef.
Oversee the process of everything. This being
Yes.
made, make sure it's made right. He's checking, he's taste testing, he's portion control.
Yes.
Everyone. We want the stuff to go to the line, and any line cook can handle it.
We don't need it to be we know that labor costs are going up and the cost of bringing in really experienced line cooks are going up.
Right.
So invest the money if you are on a management side, and then have them, like Chris has said, manage the prep levels, manage the recipe adherence, manage the cost on that side. But from a line cook side, there's not a ton of, once they're taught how to heat up a piece of meatloaf and how you want them to plate it, that's it. So now you're tasting it, you're doing all these things from, an operational standpoint, but they don't have to be involved in cooking it goes out to every customer.
They can't be. But they have to, obviously have the eye on the ball.
Yeah.
All the time. But this is the way to do it. The prep's not hard. Anybody can do this.
Right.
If you like your job, I say it all the time.
Yeah.
If you love your job, I love doing this. That's why I do it the way I do it.
Right.
Like I said, many times, if I give the same ingredients to a disgruntled line cook, and we make them side by side, mine's gonna be way better than his. Right. If I give it to a guy that loves his job, if I give it to a dishwasher that loves his job, it's gonna taste just like mine. Same ingredients.
Yeah. I always say, hey, you make it look easy, right? You're creating these recipes, doing all that. But once I'm watching you, I'm working side by side with you.
Yeah.
It's not always brain surgery. Once again, you created the recipe. That's the hard part, right? You already know your techniques. You already did the front load work. But once that's all there, it can be taught to somebody on a prep and line station that's not that experienced.
No.
Like
Anybody
just
does.
cares. They want it to be good.
You want to follow the recipe.
Yeah.
And here's the big thing, all right? For all you chefs out there and owners and GMs. Don't let people change your recipe.
Right.
Everybody says, oh, you know what? I think it said 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to put 6 because I think garlic's good.
Right.
Right? Oh, it says how much marinara to put inside a cup. Oh, I'm going to put 2 cups because it changed. Right? Don't let them change your recipe. And this is recipe adherence. You have to make sure they're living by your recipe. That's the biggest failure I see in restaurants is your recipes get changed. Right. Without you even know it. And if you're not taste testing, if you're not watching, if you're not working with the portion controls to take a look at everything to know if it's yours or not, this is where you're missing it. And this is where your kitchen starts sliding.
Yeah. Well, I think when we're on site, some of the restaurants, and we get in, we start talking to some of the customers. The biggest thing we hear, because we're not part of the restaurant, so we're able to get maybe a little more honest feedback, is consistency is the biggest complaint.
Always.
It's not usually that the food sucks, because if the food sucked, they just wouldn't come back. They wouldn't be there anymore. So the biggest issue that we hear is consistency issues. Sometimes it's more garlic, sometimes it's more salty. So they don't know what to order because they don't know what they're getting. It's like they're rolling the dice, chancing it, where, again, if you serve bad food, they just wouldn't be coming back.
They won't come back.
But,
And that's number 1. Number 2 is sometimes kitchen gets backed up and they can't get out of the weeds. Right. And that's because your menu may be too complicated. Right. You have to less complicated with great items like this.
Well, I think you've shown that on a lot of these items that we've done and made, that it doesn't take a lot of ingredients to make some of these items, especially when they're fresh. Especially when the ingredients are fresh, you don't need to cover them up by adding all of these extras to it. We can make a meatball or a meatloaf with just these ingredients. We can make a sauce with these 3 or 4 ingredients. We don't need 18 ingredients in the sauce.
Good food, sir. But it gets overcomplicated when you start 18 ingredients to do this, 20 ingredients to do that. What did I tell you about the ingredients? They start fighting with each other. Right. And the key ingredients don't come through. Every ingredient in this meatloaf is coming through.
Yeah. And there's no fluff. There's no fluff in there, right? They're just good ingredients, and we don't need any extras.
And the quick marinara tastes great. Made that in 15 minutes. That recipe will be on the website as well. Take a look. Easy to do. I mean, it's a home run.
Yeah. I'm telling you, go online, get the ingredients. If you need to, give us a call, see the recipes. If you don't have meatloaf on your menu in some capacity, what a perfect time as we go into fall, winter,
football season,
it's football season, it's
yeah.
comfort
Oh,
food,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, get it on your menu, get it out there. Lunch, dinner, sandwich. Here you go.
Yeah. Check them out, fyourbusinessmovement.com. You'll see all the recipes there. Really, start adding profitable food to your menu. Don't add things just to add them because the guy down the street selling them.
Right.
Don't trust him. He's probably no genius. Right? Trust yourself. Trust us. We know this is going to be beneficial. This is going to add money to your bottom line. This item should add top line sales and bottom dollars to the bottom line. Right?
That's awesome. But we're going to see you next week because we're making an awesome pesto next week.
Oh, next week's the pesto?
Next week, I think, is on the pesto on the calendar.
I love the pesto.
I knew you would.
I love the pesto.
So you got to join in that one too. I'm excited. I know that's right in your specialty, so I'm pumped.
Love the pesto. So much you can do with that. We'll talk about that next week. But remember, add this to your menu. It could be lunch. It could be an appetizer. It could be a dinner entree. Yeah. Right? Lunch as a sandwich, which I'm actually going to try this week. All right. Since we made this meatloaf, I'm going to take a piece. I'm going to take it home, and I'm going to have it for lunch tomorrow. I have my first meatloaf sandwich.
All right.
All right.
Make two.
Make two? All right. I'll make two. All right.
See you next week.
Add profitable food to your menu.